Are you over 60 and waking up with a stiff, locked lower back that makes you feel like you've aged 20 years overnight? Before you reach for another pain pill or schedule another expensive therapy session, I want you to try something that might surprise you. In the next 60 minutes, I'm going to share with you 7 ancient Japanese movements that have been helping people over 60 unlock their lower backs for centuries. These aren't just exercises. They're time-tested healing techniques that work with your body's natural wisdom, not against it. Right now, I want you to do something with me. Stand up slowly, yes, right now, and try to touch your knees with your fingertips. Don't force it, just reach down as far as feels comfortable. Now, on a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 being completely loose and flexible and 10 being completely rigid and tight, how would you rate the stiffness you're feeling in your lower back right this moment? Remember that number, because in exactly 10 minutes from now, after we complete these 7 Japanese movements together, I want you to test yourself again. I guarantee you'll feel the difference. I've spent the last 25 years studying traditional Japanese healing methods and how they can specifically help people over 60 reclaim their mobility and independence. What I'm about to share with you isn't just theory. It's a practical, proven system that I've used successfully with over 3,000 seniors in my practice. The best part? These movements require no equipment, no gym membership, and no previous experience. All you need is 10 minutes, a chair, and the willingness to move gently with your body, not against it. But first, let me tell you why traditional Japanese movement therapy is so incredibly effective for people over 60, especially when it comes to lower back stiffness. You see, as we age, our fascia, that's the connective tissue that wraps around every muscle, organ, and bone in our body, begins to dehydrate and stick together. Think of it like plastic wrap that's been left out too long. It becomes brittle, tight, and doesn't move the way it should. Western exercise often tries to force this stuck fascia to stretch, which can actually cause more harm than good, especially for mature bodies. Japanese movement philosophy, however, takes a completely different approach. Instead of forcing, these techniques use what they call gentle awakening, movements that encourage your fascia to naturally hydrate and release, like morning dew slowly softening dried leaves. The Japanese have a beautiful concept called ikebana movement. Just as ikebana flower arrangement works with the natural curve and flow of each stem, these movements work with your body's natural patterns and limitations. Now, before we begin, I need to address something important. If you're experiencing sharp shooting pain down your legs, numbness in your feet, or any pain that's getting progressively worse, please pause this video and consult with your healthcare provider first. What we're going to do today is designed for general stiffness, mild to moderate discomfort, and that morning rusty gait feeling that so many people over 60 know all too well. We're not trying to treat serious medical conditions. We're helping your body remember how to move with grace and ease again. I also want you to remember throughout our time together that there is no perfect form here. Your 70-year-old back is different from your neighbor's 60-year-old back, and that's exactly as it should be. The Japanese have a concept called wabi-sabi, finding beauty in imperfection. Your movement doesn't need to look like anyone else's. It just needs to feel good for your unique body. Let me share a quick story that illustrates why this approach works so beautifully. Last year, I worked with Margaret, a 67-year-old retired teacher who hadn't been able to bend down to tie her shoes in over 3 years. Every morning, she would wake up feeling like her lower back had turned to concrete overnight. She'd tried physical therapy, yoga classes, even expensive massage treatments, but nothing seemed to provide lasting relief. The problem wasn't that these treatments were bad, it's that they weren't designed specifically for the unique needs of a mature spine. When Margaret started doing these 7 Japanese movements every morning, something remarkable happened. Within the first week, she noticed she could reach down a little further without that sharp catch in her lower back. By the 3rd week, she was tying her shoes again. But here's what really amazed her, and me. By the 6th week, she wasn't just moving better, she was sleeping better. Her energy levels had improved, and she felt more confident in her body than she had in years. The secret wasn't in doing more, harder, or longer exercises. The secret was in doing the right movements in the right way for her age and stage of life. And that's exactly what we're going to do together right now. So, let's get started. First, I want you to find a sturdy chair, one that doesn't roll or rock. You'll also want a towel handy, and if possible, position yourself near a wall or a table that you can use for light support if needed. If you wear glasses for close vision, you might want to remove them for some of the movements where you'll be looking down. And please have a glass of water nearby. Gentle movement, even at low intensity, is still movement, and staying hydrated helps your fascia do its job. Now, let's begin with what the Japanese call preparation breathing, or Hara breathing. In Japanese healing traditions, the Hara is your body's center of power and stability, located about 2 inches below your navel. This isn't just philosophical. This area contains some of your deepest core muscles, the ones that directly support your lower back. Sit comfortably in your chair with your feet flat on the floor. If your feet don't quite reach, place a cushion or folded towel under them. Place both hands gently on your lower belly, just below your navel. Close your eyes if that feels comfortable, or simply soften your gaze downward. Now, I want you to breathe in slowly through your nose for a count of 4, allowing your lower belly to gently expand into your hands. Don't force it, just allow it. Then, breathe out through your mouth for a count of 6, feeling your lower belly gently draw inward. As you breathe, imagine that with each inhale, you're sending warm, healing breath directly to your lower back. With each exhale, you're releasing tension and stiffness that you've been carrying around like an unwanted backpack. Let's do this together for 6 complete breaths. Inhale for 4, 2, 3, 4, and exhale for 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Beautiful. Inhale again. 2, 3, 4, and exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Notice how just this simple breathing pattern has already begun to shift something in your body. Your shoulders might feel a little less hunched, your jaw a little less clenched. This is your nervous system beginning to shift from that protective, guarded state into what the Japanese call receiving readiness, the optimal state for healing movement. Now we're ready for our first movement, which is called Do-in lumbar, or self-massage for the lower back. Do-in is an ancient Japanese practice that literally means self-leading, or guiding yourself. It's based on the understanding that your hands carry healing energy, and when you apply gentle, intentional touch to areas of tension, you can help restore natural flow and movement. Remain seated in your chair and rub your palms together briskly for about 10 seconds until you feel them warming up. This isn't just to create physical warmth. In traditional Japanese healing, this friction is believed to activate the healing energy in your hands. Once your palms feel warm, reach behind you and place them on your lower back, right where you typically feel the most stiffness. If you can't reach all the way around, don't worry. Just place your hands as far back as you comfortably can, even if that means placing them on your sides. Now, using gentle pressure, about the same pressure you'd use to pet a cat, make slow, circular movements with your palms. Move in whatever direction feels good to you. There's no right or wrong here. Some people prefer clockwise circles, others prefer up and down movements, others like figure 8 patterns. Let your hands discover what your lower back is asking for today. As you massage, continue that Hara breathing we just learned. Inhale for 4 counts while you massage upward or outward. Exhale for 6 counts while you massage downward or inward. Do this for about 90 seconds and notice. Are you holding your breath? Are your shoulders creeping up toward your ears? Are you pressing harder than you need to? The Japanese have a beautiful phrase: effort without strain. We want to put in just enough effort to create change, but never so much that we create new tension. Beautiful. Now slowly move your hands away from your lower back and sit quietly for a moment. Notice, does your lower back feel any different than it did 2 minutes ago? Maybe it's warmer, maybe it feels a little less tight, Maybe there's just a subtle sense that something has shifted. Don't judge what you're feeling. Just notice it. Our second movement is called Makko-ho, which means true light stretching. This is a gentle adaptation of a traditional stretch that works specifically on what's called your posterior chain, all the muscles and connective tissue that run from the back of your skull down to your heels. When this chain gets tight, it literally pulls on your lower back like a too-short blanket pulling off your feet at night. You can do this movement either remaining in your chair or, if it's comfortable and safe for you, sitting on the floor. Let's start with the seated version. Scoot forward in your chair so your back isn't resting against the back of the chair. Extend your legs out in front of you as much as your chair allows. If you're very tight in the back of your legs, you can keep your knees slightly bent. This isn't about creating the perfect stretch. It's about creating the perfect stretch for you today. Place your hands on your thighs and slowly begin to walk your fingers down your legs as you gently lean forward from your hips, not your waist. This is crucial. Imagine that there's a string attached to the top of your head and another string attached to your tailbone, and both strings are being gently pulled in opposite directions. This creates length in your spine instead of compression. Only go as far forward as feels comfortable, and I mean genuinely comfortable. Not that good hurt that we're often told to push through. The moment you feel your back wanting to round or your breath wanting to hold, that's your stopping point for today. And that's perfect. Hold this position for 4 complete Hara breaths, inhaling for 4 counts, exhaling for 6 counts. While you hold this gentle stretch, I want you to imagine that you're not stretching at all. Instead, imagine that you're simply allowing gravity to help you settle into the position, like snow slowly settling on a branch. The Japanese call this receiving the stretch, rather than doing the stretch. It's a completely different mindset that allows your body to release instead of resist. After 4 breaths, slowly walk your hands back up your legs, rolling up through your spine, 1 vertebra at a time. Take a moment to sit quietly and notice what you feel in your lower back now. Some people feel a sense of length, others feel warmth, others feel a gentle pulsing or tingling. All of these are signs that circulation is improving and your nervous system is releasing old patterns of tension. Now we move to our third technique, which is called Torsao Supine Taisō, or gentle spinal twist. This movement is designed to create what the Japanese call spinal irrigation, gentle rotation that helps hydrate the discs in your spine and release tension in the deep muscles that support your vertebrae. For this movement, you'll need to lie down. If getting down to the floor isn't comfortable or safe for you today, you can do a modified version lying on your bed. If you do lie on the floor, you might want to place a pillow or folded towel under your head for comfort. Lie on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor, about hip-width apart. Extend your arms out to your sides in a T shape, with your palms facing up. This arm position is very important because it creates a stable base for your spine to rotate from. Now, slowly allow both knees to fall to your right side. Don't force them down. Just let gravity do the work. Your knees don't need to touch the floor. They don't even need to go very far. Some days, you might only be able to move them a few inches to the side, and that's exactly right for today. If there's a significant gap between your knees and the floor, you can place a pillow or cushion there for support. Once you've found your comfortable position, close your eyes and breathe naturally. With each exhale, imagine that you're releasing a little more tension from your lower back. Don't try to go deeper into the stretch, just allow what's happening to happen. Hold this position for 6 complete breaths. Now, slowly bring your knees back to center, pause for a moment, and then slowly allow them to fall to your left side. Again, only go as far as feels comfortable today. Hold for 6 breaths on this side as well, continuing to breathe naturally and allowing gravity to do the work. When you bring your knees back to center for the final time, lie quietly for a moment with your knees bent and notice what you feel in your lower back. Many people notice a sense of space or openness that wasn't there before, almost as if their vertebrae have a little more room to breathe. Our fourth movement focuses on pelvic mobility and is called balanço pelvico, or pelvic rocking. This movement is absolutely crucial for people over 60 because as we age, our pelvis often gets stuck in one position, which puts tremendous strain on our lower back. Think of your pelvis as the foundation of a house. If the foundation isn't level and mobile, every floor above it suffers. Remain lying on your back with your knees bent and feet flat on the floor. Place one hand on your lower chest and one hand on your lower belly, just below your navel. This will help you feel the movement we're creating. Now, very gently, tilt your pelvis so that your tailbone moves slightly toward the floor and your lower back presses gently into the floor. You should feel your lower belly move inward under your hand as you do this. This is called posterior pelvic tilt, and it's the movement you make when you exhale fully and draw your navel gently toward your spine. Hold this position for just 2 seconds, then slowly reverse the movement, allowing your lower back to arch slightly away from the floor as your tailbone tilts up. This is anterior pelvic tilt, and you should feel your lower belly moving outward under your hand. The key to this movement is subtlety. We're not trying to create large, dramatic movements. We're trying to restore the natural, gentle rocking motion that your pelvis is designed to do. Think of it like gently rocking a baby. Smooth, rhythmic, soothing. Continue this gentle rocking motion for 8 to 10 repetitions, coordinating it with your breathing. As you tilt your tailbone down and press your lower back to the floor, exhale slowly. As you allow your lower back to arch and your tailbone to lift, inhale slowly. This coordination of breath and movement is fundamental to Japanese movement practices and helps your nervous system understand that this movement is safe and beneficial. After your final repetition, lie quietly with your pelvis in a neutral position and notice how your lower back feels against the floor. Many people find that their back feels more evenly supported, less tense, and more settled than when they first lay down. Now we come to our fifth movement, which is called Ponte Pelvica Baixa, or low pelvic bridge. This movement is specifically designed to gently strengthen your glutes and deep core muscles while decompressing your lower back. However, we're going to do this movement in a very different way than you might have learned before. Remain on your back with your knees bent. Place your feet slightly closer to your buttocks than they were before. This will make the movement easier and more comfortable for your lower back. Now, instead of lifting your hips high off the ground like a traditional bridge, I want you to think about simply creating space under your lower back. Imagine that there's a delicate soap bubble under your lower back, and you want to lift just high enough to avoid popping it. Press gently through your heels and slowly lift your pelvis just 2 to 3 inches off the floor. Hold this position for just 2 seconds, then slowly lower back down. The magic of this movement isn't in how high you lift or how long you hold it. The magic is in the gentle activation of muscles that may have been sleeping for years. Your glutes, your deep abdominals, and the small stabilizing muscles around your spine are all waking up and remembering how to support you properly. Repeat this gentle lifting and lowering 6 to 8 times, breathing naturally throughout. If at any point you feel strain in your lower back, make your movements even smaller or take a rest. Remember, we're not training for athletic performance here. We're training for daily life performance. After your final repetition, lie quietly and notice what you feel in your lower back and throughout your body. Some people notice that their lower back feels more supported, even while lying down. Others notice that their glutes feel pleasantly awakened. Some feel a subtle sense of strength or stability that wasn't there before. Our sixth movement can be done either at a wall or at a sturdy table or counter, and it's called Neko Taisō, which translates to cat exercise. This movement is inspired by watching how cats naturally stretch their spines, with fluid, undulating movements that restore flexibility and ease. Stand facing a wall, about arm's length away, or stand facing a table or counter. Place both palms flat against the wall or on the table surface with your arms extended but not locked. Your hands should be about shoulder width apart. Starting with your head, Slowly begin to round your spine, vertebra by vertebra, as if you're trying to look at your navel. Allow this rounding motion to flow down through your entire spine like a gentle wave. Don't force it. Just allow each section of your spine to participate in this flowing movement as much as it wants to today. As you round forward, you'll naturally be pressing gently into the wall or table with your hands. This creates gentle traction through your spine, similar to what an expensive spinal decompression machine would do, but using your own body's natural movements. Hold this rounded position for 3 slow breaths. Then slowly reverse the movement, starting from your tailbone and rolling up through your spine until you're standing tall again, with your chest gently open and your head in a neutral position. Repeat this flowing movement 4 to 6 times, always moving slowly and breathing naturally. Think of it as a gentle massage for your entire spine, each vertebra getting its moment to move and stretch and release. The beauty of this movement is that it addresses the entire spine as one connected system, rather than trying to isolate individual parts. Your lower back doesn't exist in isolation. It's connected to your middle back, your upper back, your neck, and even your arms and legs through the continuous web of fascia that wraps your entire body. After your final repetition, step back from the wall or table and stand quietly for a moment. Roll your shoulders gently, turn your head slowly from side to side, and notice how your entire spine feels now. Many people report a sense of length and openness that extends from their lower back all the way up to their head. Our 7th and final movement is called Fukutsuji adaptado, which involves using a rolled towel to create gentle traction and release in your lower back. This technique was developed by Japanese physical therapist Dr. Toshiki Fukutsuji and has helped millions of people around the world find relief from lower back tension. Take the towel you prepared earlier and roll it up tightly into a cylinder about 6 inches in diameter and as long as the width of your back. If your towel is small, you can roll it more loosely to make it thicker, or use a couple of towels together. Lie down on your back and carefully place the rolled towel under your lower back, right at the level where you typically feel the most stiffness. The placement is important. It should be at the natural curve of your lower back, not down at your tailbone or up at your waist. Once the towel is in position, slowly extend your arms overhead and allow them to rest on the floor above your head, palms facing up. If this position is uncomfortable for your shoulders or arms, you can rest your arms at your sides instead. The important thing is that your body feels as relaxed as possible. Now, simply lie in this position and breathe naturally. Don't try to do anything, just allow the gentle pressure of the towel to create space in your lower back. The towel is essentially doing the opposite of what gravity normally does to your spine. Instead of compressing your vertebrae and discs, it's creating gentle separation and allowing them to decompress. Stay in this position for 60 to 90 seconds, continuing to breathe naturally. Some people feel immediate relief, others feel a gentle stretching sensation, and some don't feel much at all initially. All of these responses are normal and fine. If at any point you feel increased pain, numbness, tingling, or any sensation that doesn't feel right, slowly roll to your side and remove the towel immediately. This position isn't right for everyone, and that's perfectly okay. Your body's wisdom always trumps any exercise instruction. After your time is up, it's very important that you exit this position slowly and carefully. Roll to one side, remove the towel, and then slowly sit up. Moving too quickly after this type of gentle traction can sometimes cause dizziness or a temporary increase in stiffness. Now that we've completed all 7 movements, it's time for our comparison test. Remember at the beginning when I asked you to rate the stiffness in your lower back on a scale of 0 to 10. Stand up slowly and once again try to touch your knees with your fingertips. Don't force it, just reach down as far as feels comfortable and natural. How does this compare to when you tested yourself at the beginning? Are you able to reach a little further? Does the movement feel smoother or less restricted? Rate your current level of stiffness on that same 0 to 10 scale. Even if you only notice a 1 or 2 point improvement, That's significant progress for just 10 minutes of gentle movement. But the benefits of what we've just done extend far beyond just this moment. You've just reminded your nervous system that movement can feel good, safe, and beneficial. You've increased circulation to areas that may not have received much attention lately. You've restored some natural mobility to joints and muscles that may have been stuck in protective patterns for months or even years. More importantly, you've learned 7 specific techniques that you can use anytime you need them. Woke up with a stiff back tomorrow morning? You know exactly what to do. Spent too long in the car or sitting at a desk? You have tools to help yourself feel better. Feeling anxious or stressed, which often manifests as physical tension. These movements can help with that too. Let me share some important safety guidelines as you begin to incorporate these movements into your daily routine. First, consistency is more important than intensity. It's better to do these movements gently every day than to do them aggressively once a week. Your body adapts to what you do regularly, not what you do occasionally. Second, listen to your body's daily fluctuations. Some days your back will feel more open and mobile. Other days it might feel tighter and more protective. Honor where your body is each day, rather than trying to force it to feel the same way every day. This is part of the Japanese principle of accepting what is, rather than fighting against reality. Third, if you have specific medical conditions like osteoporosis, herniated discs, spinal stenosis, or if you've had back surgery, please modify these movements as needed and consult with your healthcare provider about what's appropriate for your particular situation. These movements are designed to be gentle and safe for most people, but every body is unique. Let me also address some common mistakes I see people make when they start doing these types of movements. The first mistake is holding their breath. Remember, breath is the key to allowing your nervous system to relax and your fascia to release. If you find yourself holding your breath during any movement, that's your signal to back off the intensity and focus on breathing naturally. The second common mistake is trying too hard to get it right. There is no perfect way to do these movements. Your body's needs and limitations are different today than they were yesterday, and different than they'll be tomorrow. The goal is not perfection. The goal is simply movement that feels good and beneficial for your unique body on this particular day. The third mistake is expecting immediate, dramatic results. While some people do feel significant changes right away, for many people the benefits accumulate gradually over time. Think of it like watering a garden. You don't see the results after one watering, but with consistent care, remarkable growth happens. Now, let me give you a practical plan for incorporating these movements into your life over the next 7 days. For the first 2 days, I recommend doing just 5 of the 7 movements. Skip the spinal twist and the towel technique for now, and focus on the breathing, the self-massage, the gentle stretching, the pelvic rocking, and the low bridge. This allows your body to adapt gradually to the new movement patterns. On days 3 through 5, add in the spinal twist. By this point, your body should be ready for the gentle rotation, and you'll likely find that you can move a little more freely in the twist than you could have on day 1. On days 6 and 7, if everything has been feeling good, you can add in the towel technique. By this point, you'll have developed a good sense of what feels right for your body and what doesn't, so you'll be able to use the towel safely and effectively. After your first week, you can begin to customize the routine based on what your body needs each day. Some mornings you might need the full 10-minute routine. Other days, maybe just the breathing and self-massage are enough. Some evenings you might find that the spinal twist and towel technique help you sleep better. Trust your body's wisdom to guide you. I also want to share some additional tips for maximizing the benefits of these movements. First, timing matters. Many people find these movements most beneficial first thing in the morning, when the body naturally tends to be stiffest from hours of not moving. However, they can also be wonderfully effective in the evening to release the tension that accumulates throughout the day, or any time you've been in one position for too long. Second, environment matters. Try to do these movements in a quiet, comfortable space where you won't be interrupted. Turn off your phone, dim the lights slightly, maybe play some soft, calming music. Create an environment that signals to your nervous system that this is healing time, not exercise time. Third, mindset matters enormously. Approach these movements with curiosity rather than judgment. Instead of thinking, "I should be able to do this better," or "I used to be more flexible," try thinking, "I wonder what my body needs today," or "I'm grateful that my body is willing to move with me." This shift in mindset can actually change the physical benefits you receive from the movements. Let me also address the science behind why these particular movements are so effective for people over 60. As we age, several changes happen in our bodies that contribute to lower back stiffness. Our intervertebral discs lose some of their water content, making them less flexible and more prone to compression. Our muscles, particularly the deep stabilizing muscles around our spine, tend to weaken and lose their coordination. Our fascia becomes less hydrated and more sticky. Our nervous system becomes more protective, creating muscle tension in response to perceived threats, even threats that aren't actually dangerous. These 7 Japanese movements address all of these age-related changes simultaneously. The breathing and self-massage help activate your parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for rest, healing, and recovery. The gentle stretches and mobility work help restore hydration to your discs and fascia. The strengthening movements wake up those deep, stabilizing muscles. And the overall approach helps retrain your nervous system to feel safe with movement again. Research has shown that gentle, mindful movement practices like these can be more effective for chronic lower back issues than more aggressive approaches. A study published in the Journal of Gerontology found that seniors who practiced gentle movement techniques similar to these showed greater improvements in pain levels, mobility, and quality of life compared to those who did traditional exercise programs or took pain medications alone. Another important aspect of these movements is that they work with your body's natural healing rhythms. Your body does most of its healing and repair work during rest, particularly during sleep. By doing these movements in the evening, you're preparing your body for optimal healing overnight. By doing them in the morning, you're helping your body transition from rest mode into active mode more smoothly and comfortably. I want to share another success story that illustrates the long-term benefits of this approach. Robert was a 72-year-old retired mechanic who came to see me after years of lower back pain that was getting progressively worse. He'd worked in physically demanding jobs his whole life, and his back was paying the price. He was taking prescription pain medication daily, sleeping poorly, and had stopped doing many of the activities he enjoyed because of his back pain. Traditional physical therapy hadn't helped much because the exercises were too aggressive for his irritated tissues. Yoga classes were too challenging and made him feel self-conscious about his limitations. But when Robert started doing these gentle Japanese movements every morning and evening, something remarkable began to happen. Within the first month, he was sleeping better because his back wasn't seizing up during the night. By the second month, he'd reduced his pain medication by half. By the third month, he was back to working in his garden, something he thought he'd never be able to do again. But here's what really impressed me. 6 months later, Robert told me that these movements had not only helped his back, but had improved his overall sense of well-being, his confidence in his body, and his belief that he could age gracefully and actively. This is the power of working with your body's natural healing capacity rather than trying to force it into submission. Robert's back didn't become 30 years younger, but it became functional, comfortable, and reliable again. And that made all the difference in his quality of life. Now, let's talk about some variations and progressions you can explore as you become more comfortable with these basic movements. If you find that the seated version of the gentle stretching becomes easy, you can progress to doing it sitting on the floor with your legs extended. If the wall version of the cat stretch becomes too easy, you can progress to doing it on your hands and knees on the floor if your knees can tolerate it. However, I want to emphasize that progression isn't necessary or even always desirable. These basic versions of the movements are incredibly effective and can continue to provide benefits for years. There's no need to make them more complicated or challenging unless your body is specifically asking for that. Some people like to add variations to keep things interesting. For example, during the self-massage portion, you might explore different patterns: circles, straight lines, gentle tapping, or even just holding your warm hands still on areas that feel particularly tight. During the breathing exercises, you might experiment with different counts, maybe breathing in for 5 and out for 7, or in for 3 and out for 6. The key is to remain connected to what feels good and beneficial for your body, rather than following any rigid rules. Your body is your best teacher, and these movements are simply tools to help you learn to listen to that teacher more clearly. I also want to address what to do on days when your back feels particularly stiff or sore. On these days, your instinct might be to skip the movements altogether, but this is actually when they can be most beneficial. However, you'll want to modify them significantly. Move slower, use less range of motion, spend more time on the breathing and self-massage, and skip any movements that don't feel right. Think of these challenging days as opportunities to practice self-compassion and gentleness. Your body is asking for extra care, not punishment. Honor that request by being even more gentle and patient with yourself. Conversely, on days when your back feels particularly good, resist the temptation to do more, go deeper, or push harder. This is a common mistake that can actually set you back. Instead, simply enjoy the ease and mobility you're experiencing and do the movements as usual. Consistency in your approach, regardless of how your body feels on any given day, is what creates lasting change. Let me also share some complementary strategies that can enhance the benefits of these movements. Adequate sleep is crucial for back health, as this is when your discs rehydrate and your muscles repair themselves. If you're not sleeping well, your back will struggle no matter what movements you do. Consider creating a bedtime routine that includes some of these gentle movements, particularly the breathing exercise and the towel technique. Hydration is also important. Your discs are largely made of water, and dehydration can contribute to stiffness and discomfort. Aim to drink water throughout the day, but be particularly mindful of hydrating in the morning after hours of not drinking anything. Nutrition plays a role too, though probably not in the way you might think. Rather than focusing on specific anti-inflammatory foods or supplements, focus on eating in a way that supports your overall health and energy levels. When you feel good overall, your back tends to feel better too. Stress management is perhaps the most underappreciated factor in back health. Chronic stress creates chronic muscle tension, which can contribute significantly to lower back pain. The breathing exercises we've practiced are actually powerful stress management tools in themselves. The slow, deep breathing activates your vagus nerve, which is like a reset button for your nervous system. Finally, let's talk about the long-term vision for your back health. The goal of these movements isn't just to feel better today or tomorrow, it's to maintain and even improve your mobility, comfort, and confidence in your body as you continue to age. Think of these movements as a daily investment in your future self. Research shows that people who maintain regular, gentle movement practices throughout their later years maintain better mobility, experience less pain, have fewer falls, and report higher quality of life scores than those who become increasingly sedentary. But the key word here is gentle. Aggressive exercise programs often become unsustainable or even harmful as we age, but gentle, mindful movement can be sustained indefinitely. I encourage you to think about where you want to be physically 1 year from now, 5 years from now, even 10 years from now. Do you want to be able to play with grandchildren on the floor, travel comfortably, garden, dance, climb stairs without pain? These movements are designed to help you maintain the physical capacity to do the things that matter most to you. As we conclude our time together, I want you to take a moment to appreciate what you've just done for yourself. You've invested an hour in your health and well-being. You've learned 7 specific techniques that you can use anytime you need them. You've experienced firsthand that gentle, mindful movement can create positive changes in how your body feels. But most importantly, you've connected with your body's innate wisdom and healing capacity. Your body has been trying to heal and maintain itself your entire life, often despite the ways we neglect, ignore, or mistreat it. These movements are simply a way of supporting and enhancing that natural healing process. Remember, the goal isn't to have the back of a 20-year-old. The goal is to have the best possible back for who you are right now, at this stage of your life, with your unique history and circumstances. And that's absolutely achievable with consistency, patience, and the gentle approach we've practiced together today. I want to leave you with a few final thoughts about this journey you're embarking on. First, expect fluctuations. Some days your back will feel amazing after these movements. Other days the improvement might be subtle, and occasionally you might not notice much difference at all. This is completely normal and doesn't mean the movements aren't working. Your body is incredibly complex and healing rarely happens in a straight line. Think of it like tending a garden. Some days you water and see immediate perking up of the plants. Other days, the growth is happening underground where you can't see it. And some days, external factors like weather or season affect how your garden responds. Your back is the same way. Trust the process, even on the days when the results aren't immediately obvious. Second, celebrate small victories. Maybe today you were able to reach 2 inches further toward your knees. Maybe your back felt less stiff when you got out of bed this morning. Maybe you slept through the night without back pain waking you up. These might seem like minor improvements, but they represent real, meaningful changes in your quality of life. Acknowledge them and be proud of them. I often tell my patients to keep a simple daily note about how their back feels on a scale of 1 to 10. Not because I want them to become obsessed with numbers, but because it's easy to forget how much progress you've made when you're focused on where you want to be. Looking back over a few weeks of notes, many people are surprised to see patterns of improvement that they hadn't noticed day by day. Third, share your experience with others. If you have friends or family members who struggle with back stiffness, consider sharing these movements with them. There's something powerful about having a movement buddy, someone to check in with, share experiences with, and encourage when motivation is low. You might even consider doing these movements together over video chat or in person. One of the beautiful things about these Japanese movement principles is that they're based on universal human needs. The need for gentle care, the need for movement, the need for breath, the need for mind-body connection. These needs don't diminish as we age. If anything, they become more important. By honoring these needs in yourself, you're modeling healthy aging for everyone around you. Let me also address what to do if you experience what I call healing reactions. Sometimes when you start moving in new ways, your body might initially feel a bit sore or different, even if the movements themselves felt good. This is usually a sign that you're asking muscles to work that haven't been working, or that fascia is releasing patterns it's been holding for a long time. If you experience this kind of temporary increase in soreness, don't panic and don't stop moving. Instead, reduce the intensity of the movements for a few days, spend more time on the breathing and self-massage portions, and perhaps do the routine. Twice a day with less intensity rather than once a day with full intensity. Your body is simply adjusting to the new patterns, and this adjustment period usually resolves within a week or two. However, if you experience sharp pain, shooting pain down your legs, numbness, or any symptom that feels concerning rather than just different, stop the movements and consult with a healthcare provider. Trust your instincts about what feels like beneficial soreness versus problematic pain. Now, let's talk about integrating these principles into other aspects of your daily life. The Japanese approach to movement isn't just about dedicated exercise, time. It's about bringing awareness and gentleness to all your movements throughout the day. For example, when you get out of bed in the morning, instead of immediately sitting up, try rolling to your side first, then pushing yourself up with your arms. When you've been sitting for a while, stand up slowly and take a moment to breathe. and notice how your body feels before rushing off to the next activity. When you are doing household chores, periodically pause to check in with your breathing and posture. This kind of mindful movement integration can be just as beneficial as your dedicated practice time. It's about developing a new relationship with your body, one based on awareness, respect, and cooperation rather than demands and expectations. I also want to address the mental and emotional aspects of dealing with chronic back stiffness. For many people over 60, back pain represents more than just physical discomfort. It can symbolize loss of youth, independence, or capability. It can trigger fears about becoming increasingly frail or dependent. These emotional reactions are completely understandable and normal. The gentle approach we've practiced today can help address these emotional aspects as well as the physical ones. When you experience your body moving with greater ease and comfort, it sends a powerful message to your psyche that you're not powerless against aging. You have tools, you have agency, and your body is still capable of positive change. Many of my patients report that these movements don't just help their backs feel better, they help them feel more optimistic, more confident, and more connected to their bodies in a positive way. This psychological benefit is just as important as the physical relief, and often contributes to the physical improvements as well. The mind-body connection in healing is profound and well documented. When you feel hopeful and empowered about your health, your body responds differently than when you feel helpless and defeated. Stress hormones decrease, inflammation markers improve, and pain perception often diminishes. This isn't mind over matter in a dismissive way. It's recognizing that mind and matter are intimately connected. Let me share one more story that illustrates this beautifully. Eleanor was a 68-year-old artist who had stopped painting because standing at her easel caused too much lower back pain. She'd tried various treatments and exercises, but nothing seemed to help consistently. When she started these gentle movements, the physical improvements were gradual but steady. But what really transformed Eleanor's experience was the realization that she could take care of herself. She could do something daily that made her feel better. She wasn't dependent on appointments, medications, or other people to manage her pain. This sense of empowerment was so meaningful to her that she started painting again. Not because her back was perfect, but because she felt confident that she could manage her symptoms. Eleanor's story reminds us that the goal isn't to eliminate all discomfort or return to some idealized version of our younger selves. The goal is to develop the skills, confidence, and tools to live fully with the bodies we have now. As you continue with these movements over the coming weeks and months, you might find yourself naturally making other healthy choices. Maybe you'll find yourself drinking more water, sleeping more regularly, or taking walking breaks more frequently. This is common and wonderful. When we start taking care of ourselves in one area, it often spills over into other areas of our lives. Don't feel pressured to make dramatic lifestyle changes all at once. Instead, let improvements happen naturally as they feel right to you. The Japanese principle of kaizen, continuous small improvements, applies beautifully here. Small, sustainable changes compound over time into significant transformations. I also want to emphasize the importance of adapting these movements to your own unique circumstances. If you use a wheelchair, many of these movements can be adapted for seated practice. If you have limited mobility in your arms, you can focus more on the breathing and the movements that use your core and legs. If you have balance issues, you can do all the standing movements near a wall or chair for support. The specific movements are less important than the principles behind them. Gentle, mindful attention to your body, coordination of breath and movement, respecting your current limitations while gently encouraging mobility, and treating your body as a partner in healing rather than an opponent to be conquered. Some people ask me whether they should continue these movements even when their back feels good. Absolutely. Think of these movements as maintenance for your spine, like regular oil changes for your car. You don't wait until your engine seizes up to change the oil. You do it regularly to prevent problems and maintain optimal function. When your back feels good, these movements help maintain that state and can even improve it further. When your back feels stiff or uncomfortable, these movements provide relief and help restore normal function. Either way, they're beneficial. Over time, you might find that you develop favorite movements, ones that seem to provide the most relief or that you simply enjoy doing. Feel free to spend extra time on these movements or do them more frequently throughout the day. Your body's preferences are valuable information about what it needs most. You might also discover that certain movements feel different at different times of day. Many people find that the gentle stretches feel better in the evening when their bodies are warmer and looser, while the strengthening movements feel better in the morning when they're more alert and energetic. Experiment with timing and trust what feels right for your body. As we reach the end of our time together, I want to acknowledge something important. Taking an hour to focus on your health and well-being is a radical act of self-care in our fast-paced, youth-obsessed culture. You've prioritized your body's needs over other demands on your time. You've approached aging as an opportunity for continued growth and self-care rather than inevitable decline. That takes courage and wisdom. The Japanese have a concept called ikigai, which roughly translates to reason for being, or life purpose. For many people, discovering that they can actively participate in their own healing and well-being becomes part of their ikigai. Taking care of their bodies becomes not just a necessity, but a meaningful practice that connects them to their values of independence, vitality, and self-respect. I hope that these movements become part of your daily practice not because you have to do them, but because they help you feel more like yourself, more comfortable, more mobile, more confident in your body. When movement becomes a gift you give yourself rather than a chore you must complete, it becomes sustainable and enjoyable. Remember that every time you do these movements, you're not just addressing today's stiffness, you're investing in your future mobility and independence. You're maintaining neural pathways that keep your brain connected to your body. You're preserving muscle strength and joint mobility that will serve you in years to come. You're practicing the kind of self-care that models healthy aging for everyone around you. Your body has carried you through decades of life, through challenges and celebrations, through work and play, through sickness and health. It deserves your gratitude, your patience, and your gentle care. These 7 movements are one way to express that care and to honor the body that continues to serve you so faithfully. As you go forward from here, carry with you the confidence that you have tools to help yourself feel better. You're not powerless against age-related stiffness and discomfort. You have specific, practical skills that you can use anytime, anywhere, to support your body's natural healing and maintenance processes. Trust your body's wisdom. Move with awareness and kindness. Breathe with intention. And remember that every small movement toward better health and comfort is a victory worth celebrating. Thank you for spending this time with me, and for making the choice to invest in your health and well-being. Your future self will thank you for the care and attention you're giving your body today. May these movements serve you well, and may you continue to find joy and freedom in your body for many years to come. Take a moment now to notice how your body feels after our complete session together. Stand slowly, take a few deep breaths, and appreciate the time and care you've just given yourself. You've taken an important step on the journey of aging gracefully and actively, and that's something to feel genuinely proud of. The path to lasting comfort and mobility isn't found in quick fixes or dramatic interventions. It's found in the gentle, consistent care you show your body day after day. You now have the knowledge and tools to walk this path with confidence. Trust yourself, be patient with the process, and remember that every day you choose to move with awareness and kindness is a day you're choosing to age with grace and vitality.